pulling you from the sky, just like our world did, pulling you from the ground, just like love will do. Oh hi! I just finished watching Raised by Wolves, season 2, episode 1, for the second time. I stayed up till 1. I tell you, no matter how excited I am for Boba Fett, I can't keep myself up until 1 a.m. to watch that. But apparently that's how excited I am for Raised by Wolves, because I stayed up till 1 a.m. to watch that. And, I almost made it all the way to the end. But I watched the second time when I woke up this morning. So I think, I can say a couple of things about it. Very different. I do like the change of environment, the change of pace, the change of. It seems like a completely different show. Like we're starting over from scratch. In fact, the first quarter, maybe first half, specifically the first quarter of the episode, felt like they were like, okay, we got to get to where we're going. Felt like, I don't know, maybe like because the creator said he has an idea for where it's going, and that it could end probably around 4 or 5 seasons. But I think he might be worried, what if we only get 3 or 4 seasons? So let's go ahead and make sure we make the progress we need to make sooner than later, so that we don't have to worry about catching up at the end, that we're just going to hurry up and get to the end game. There, like, for example, season 1, the entire first episode is pretty much about them landing and setting up camp. But the first episode of season 2 was like, there's all kinds of stuff going on with all kinds of. Okay, there's all kinds of stuff going on. The tropical zone is amazing. I'm loving that immediately we're getting the atheists, and they're the trust, the introduction of the trust. So I guess the atheists follow this computer thing that they made, and it looks like you ever get those little, like when I was a kid, I had a Batman Forever one, and had a little bat boat, and you would grow crystals. They would call it like a crystal garden, and it was stuff that grows in the sea with minerals, but it would make colorful the things, you kind of things you see, like Cave of the Winds, and the cave growings. It's cool looking and weird, and it also looks, like when Mother, I guess that's not her name anymore, is talking to this trust computer on the atheist ship. When we first see it, it looks like the being, the thing that we see for a moment in that movie that I'm thinking of, Annihilation. Great movie, Oscar Isaac and Natalie Portman. Fantastic movie. That's probably one of the best sci-fi movies I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. Anyway, so I love the design of the atheists, all their stuff. The little hover tank, that's really awesome. I love the design of the ship that Marcus takes, where it looks just like a cool futuristic staple meets Flight of the Navigators ship. So that, yeah, I'm really digging everything new we're getting, which is interesting. I'm hoping, if we get more seasons, that maybe each season is going to be its own thing, its own feel. It's more specifically standalone chapter. All this fruit, the designs of all that's really interesting. So we got. I'm just going to be all over the place. I mean, I'm waiting so long to get a new season, and here we are. Yeah. Oh, so then Marcus then crash lands when he crash landed in the acid. Spoiler alert, by the way. Oh, and by the way, I only watched episode 1 so far. They dropped the first 2 episodes. I was like, sweet. I mean, for season 1, it was the first 3 right off the bat, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But this time I'll take 2. 2's fine by me. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to be up until 3 in the morning. I couldn't do it. So I've seen 1 twice, but I have yet to see episode 2. I haven't watched episode 2 yet. I wanted to make sure I don't get it mixed up with episode 1. I want to keep it fresh in my mind, and then so episode 2 I can have its own thoughts. They're still going to be my thoughts, but thoughts about it specifically without them containing 1 bleedovers. Anyway, Um, at one point when Marcus's ship crashes into the, I love the acid whirlpools. I think those are really really cool. But when he crashes into the acid pool thing, acid ocean, acid lake, I love the effect of it getting all eaten up. It must be some acid because it was like eating away at the paint that wasn't even touching it yet. And then he uses this thing. It's like some kind of weapon out of Half Life or something. So it's like kind of like a gravity gun, and I guess it's supposed to pull him because I remember watching it and like they showed the shot of like here's the land, and he's over here on the ship trying to get to the land, and he's got the little gun there, and then they show him like this far away, and then he like jumps, and then the next shot he's on the land, and I'm like, that's kind of a leap in believability there because whoa, I'm over here, but I guess like upon my second viewing, it was ridiculous the first viewing, but the second viewing, I guess this gun is pulling him. Just could have been edited slightly better, I guess. Neither here nor there. I'm not going to nitpick too much. Yeah. So like I said about I've notes. That's right. About mother's mother not being mother anymore. They gave her a name, I guess, and her name is now Lamina. I think it was Lamina. I tried to turn on my subtitles on HBO Max and it wasn't working. I don't know why. What's going on HBO Max? I'm trying to check out these subtitles because I wanted to make sure I spelled it right. I have it like Lamnia. I think that's what I heard, and I don't know if that's how you spell it, but Lamina. I think Lamina is her name now. It's gonna take me a while to get used to that. That's like some Grogu stuff right there. I mean, how long did it take for us to actually start calling him Grogu? So that's interesting. I find it fascinating. What does this say? Oh yeah, fascinating that like I was saying about how because I had my theory, there's got to be some kind of time thing going on, and we found those cave drawings in season 1, and now Marcus comes across this huge logo, pretty much, for Sol, the sun, in a cave. That doesn't make any. I mean, it's going to make sense, but right now it shouldn't make sense. Love it because I know the answers are coming, and I'm guessing it's gonna be the whole twisty turny infinity effect. I like Glasses Guy, this new atheist with the glasses, who's like, I don't mind talking to the computer, and I like my computer, and there's something about his vibe that I dig, and I think he's gonna make a really good bad guy. Yeah, I think as his character progresses, he's gonna be like the main antagonist. That's the vibe I got from him right off the bat. But I like him. I like his style, that actor. Signal, mother. See, I'm gonna keep calling her mother. When I get used to Lamina, no, Lamnia, Lamnia. Was it Lamnia? Lamnia. Maybe it was Lamnia. Mother. So Mother's talking to what's her face, who Paul doesn't want to have anything to do with now. I love how they just acknowledge that the kids like grew up a few years by just going, your octave is your voice is 1 octave lower. Moving on. It's like, okay. I mean, they didn't specify how much time has passed, so we can just use our own imaginations. That's fine. Little things. If you acknowledge those things and then move on, we'll do the same thing, as long as you don't ignore them and pretend they don't exist. So we're good. They acknowledged it. But Mother's talking about some signal, thinking that the voice that Marcus and Paul was hearing and that she was hearing while she was hooked up to her pod is maybe some kind of signal on the planet that they're going to have to find the source of. And I'm like, say what now? That don't make no sense. So we'll find out what's really going on there. I'm loving the clues. And then, yep, already talked about that. When they find these old toys, Father and one of the little girls finds these old toys. It reminded me very much of the original old school Planet of the Apes. Like, I'm telling you, there's got to be some kind of time thing going on here where we are now, some characters are going to end up in the past, and everything we're finding that's old, these artifacts, these toys, these cave drawings, is going to be done by the future characters somehow in the past, and there's this whole loopity-loop thing going on here. And then, of course, Paul finds one of these deals. Isn't it called, I want to say dodecahedron. I could be wrong. It might be more than dodecahedron is something like that. But that's for some reason that word comes to my mind. So I'm going to call it a dodecahedron until I'm corrected. He finds one of those things, just like the big one they found, just like the weird thing that keeps the androids to make the snakes, the snake that we didn't see. He's up there somewhere. We're going to see him eventually. I'll wrap up the thoughts in a part 2 real quick. Okie dokie.